Okay, we're continuing our saga, if you will, of transformations, and today we're going to talk about rotations again. I know this one's been a little bit crazier than some of the others, but I think by the time we get through talking about today's material, that it'll start to come more into focus for you. So let's see what we mean. So first of all, on your guided notes, fill in these words. Each point rotates around a circle path. So if you think about it, when we're rotating these objects, each point itself actually stays on a fixed circle path all the way around. That's kind of important to note. A 90-degree rotation will create a 90-degree angle with the origin and the original point. A 180-degree rotation will create a straight line with the origin and the original point. So once you have those words in place, now we're ready to see what we're talking about. Now keep in mind the rules that we learned about before. A 90-degree clockwise rotation is the same as a 270, a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation is the same as a 270-degree clockwise rotation. So the rule in that case, xy becomes negative yx. A 180-degree counterclockwise rotation is the same as a 180-degree clockwise rotation. And so x and y become negative x and negative y. And as you can see here, and all of these colors are matching up with one of these particular rotations and the coordinates that are resulting from it. So if you need to go back and reference these when you're doing some of these problems, it'll be very helpful. All right, so let's try doing these by rotating our paper. So we're going to grab this. You're going to just do your whole paper, hold the center point down, and first of all, before we start rotating, let's write down the coordinates of the original points. So point W is 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, 4. Point X is at 2, 2. And point V is at negative 1, 3. So that's the pre-image. Before we do anything to it, that's where this shape is located. Now I'm going to click on it, and with the tools that I have, I can just click on it, and when I rotate it, it'll rotate about this center axis. But for you, on your paper, you actually have to hold it down, maybe with your finger or something, but just rotate the entire paper so that you get the same effect. So this rotates 90 degrees counterclockwise, so that would be 1/4 turn counterclockwise. And that would be our new image. So now we're going to talk about what are the coordinates of that new image right there. Well, let's go to W. W is at negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So negative 4, 3. That would be W prime, our new image. All right, how about X prime? Well, that would be negative 2 and 2. So X prime has rotated so that it's at negative 2 and 2. And then V prime, when we rotate that over, it's at negative 3, negative 1. So negative 3, negative 1. All right, so all it asks us to do is rotate it in this particular case. We could have put down a rule for this if we were asked to, and just for the fun of it, let's go ahead and do that. So X, y, in each case was transformed in the second image by moving the y in front and making it its opposite, and by moving the x to the back and keeping it the same. So negative y, x. And we saw some of this with our previous assignment. All right, this one we're going to rotate 180 degrees about the origin. So first of all, let's write down the coordinates of the pre-image. So let's try to do them in alphabetical order. K, L, M. So let's start with K. K is at negative 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4, comma, 0. L is negative 2 and 1. Negative 2 and 1. M is at negative 1, negative 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 1, negative 4. Okay, now we're going to rotate it 180 degrees about the origin. So click on it. Hold on the center of your paper right here, and then rotate the whole paper. So 90, 100, oh, we're going to go 180 degrees. I guess it doesn't matter if we go counterclockwise, which we just did, or clockwise. It doesn't matter. Okay, so our new image would be as follows. K prime is now over here, and that's at 1, 2, 3, 4, comma 0. 4, comma 0. L prime, that is at 2, comma negative 1, and so 2, comma negative 1. And M prime is at negative 1, comma 1, 2, 3, 4. M prime is 1, comma 4. All right, so there we go. So what happens when we do that is the rule is x, y, when it rotates 180 degrees clockwise or counterclockwise, both numbers just become their opposite, negative x, negative y. So we started out with negative 4, it became positive 4 because that's the opposite of 4. Started out with 0, it stayed 0 because there is no opposite of 0. Started out with negative 2, its opposite is 2, and so on and so forth through the whole shape. Okay, very good. Let's keep it going. Okay, so now we're going to talk about finding a rule. If I give you a couple of shapes that have been rotated, how can you find the rule that was in place to cause this to take place? So first of all, choose one of the original points, like R on the original figure. So R right there is at 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 3, comma 4. Okay, now connect that point to the origin, 0, 0. So I'm going to get a line tool, go 0, 0. And so that is now at 0, comma 0. 0, comma 0. And then to its matching new point. So that's R, and so R prime is now over here. So we need to catch or attach a line to that. So there's R prime. So if we look at this, we can see that there is a rotation that took place. And it rotated from there to here, which is 1/4 turn. So that makes it a 90 degree. And is that direction is counterclockwise, right? Counterclockwise. All right, there you go. Okay, let's try another one. Find the role of the given rotation. Now, it doesn't matter what point you choose, but let's go with J here because that's the lowest one in the alphabet, JKL. So I'm going to plot a dot there at J. And now I'm also going to plot a dot right there at J prime. So we're going to take a line and run it from here to the origin. And then from there, we're going to go to the new point, which happens to be straight up there. There's no curve or no angle to it. It's just straight like this. So what does that mean? If we put our little angle symbol on here, okay, it looks like we rotated this way. Now let's take that off because that's an inaccurate picture. So we rotate from here up to here. So that is a 180-degree rotation. And it happens to be counterclockwise, right? Counterclockwise. Now, what happens to the x and y values there? Well, x and y, when they rotate like that, become negative x, negative y. And it depends on how they ask the question, whether or not they're looking for this or for this. So watch it on your worksheet. Okay, so that's it. So now on the worksheet, we're gonna rotate each figure according to the role, graph the new image, find the coordinates of the vertices of each figure after the given transformation. Okay, so let's see what that means. So first of all, let's start out by writing down the coordinates of each point. So the first one, P, Q, R, S. Let's start with P. That would be 1, 2, 3, comma 1, 2, 3, 4. 3, comma, negative 4. And then Q, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, comma, 0. R is 0, negative 2. And S is 2, comma, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, comma, negative 5. Okay, P, Q, R, S. There they are. Okay, so we are going to rotate this 180 degrees about the origin. So let's grab our shape, grab your paper, and literally turn it 90, 180 degrees. There's a 180 degree rotation right there. And now let's look at our new points. So P prime is negative 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 3 and 4. Would you look at that? It's the same numbers, but both of them are their opposite. And that shouldn't come as any surprise. Q prime, that's going to be negative 4, 0. Negative 4 and 0. Okay, how about R prime? R prime is 0 and 2. Okay, S prime, negative 2 and 5. So when we graph them, we will have all of our two shapes. Now, in order to do that, I need to rotate this back to where it was, though. Remember, it started out right here, and then I can graph these other points. So negative 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's negative 3 and 4. So that's P prime up there. And negative 4 is 0. 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 4 and 0 is Q prime. 0 and 2. 0 and 2 is R prime. And S prime is negative 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there's S prime. All right, now let's draw our line between our shapes. And does it look like the given rotation 180 degrees? Yes, it looks like it was rotated 180 degrees this way or the other direction. It doesn't matter. They will both end up in that spot. So, hey, this is kind of fun, isn't it? Looking pretty good. Oh, I think I can see a mistake. Oh, nope, we're good. I thought maybe I'd misplaced this point right here. Now my lines could have been a little straighter and it would look better. All right, so try to be a little neater about how you do this. Okay, so we try number 2. This is a 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. So let's look at those. We got E. E is at negative 1, 2, 3, oh, negative 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. Negative 3 and 4. F. Negative 3 and 5. G. Negative 1 and 5. And H happens to be 2, 3. All right, we're going to 90-degree counterclockwise rotation. So I've got to grab my graph and rotate it 1/4 turn to the, that's counterclockwise. So there's where my new shape is, right? So now all I have to do is label or name those sides right here. So F prime, G prime, E prime, and H prime. What are they? So F prime is negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 1, 2, 3. So negative 5, negative 3. G prime, negative 5, negative 1. E prime, negative 4, negative 3. And last but not least, H prime is negative 3, 2. So there is our new coordinates. And you can graph this shape right here, but also remember you need to graph the original over where it was. So I'm going to, no, that's not going to help in this case. So let me go ahead and rotate that back up where it was. So there's the original. And then our new one is at negative 5, negative 3. Negative 5, negative 1, 2, 3. Negative 5, negative 1. Negative 4, negative 1, 2, 3. And negative 3, 2. So we go like this, go like that. And there is our new shape. All right, very nice. So just keep going with the worksheet and follow that process, and I think you'll find that it'll work out quite well, and maybe you'll really enjoy it and get to where you know it really well. That's the goal. Thank you very much.